Hey guys, Chris here, the RC Geek. Welcome back. This week we're featuring the ForceRC P-51 Mustang available from Horizon Hobby. This is a kit that's been available for a little while actually, and at 1100 millimeter wingspan is just a cute little model. It carries the moniker of Sunny Boy with green and yellow checkerboards on the nose, which I find pretty unique and different compared to the typical red and yellow checkers that you usually see. Now, the full-sized Sunny Boy was actually flown by Lieutenant Ted E. Hoffman as a part of the 343rd Fighter Squadron, 55th Fighter Group during World War II. This is from 1944 to 1945 that he flew the airplane. Now, Lieutenant Hoffman, actually he scored 4 air victories in the airplane, in fact, though they're not actually represented on the model. Anyhow, let's go through the assembly and flight of this cool little airplane for you guys and give you the lowdown on what you should know. So, let's go! Now, tearing into the kit, there's only about 4 pieces in assembling the airplane. The first item is to get the receiver installed into the fuselage and start connecting all of the servos to it. I wanted to try out one of the new antennaless Spectrum receivers, so I picked up an AR620 which fit about perfectly into the cutout in the fuselage, and it worked great. So with everything hooked up, the wing was bolted on, the scale radiator scoop was glued to the bottom, and then the horizontal tail was added. What's interesting is that the tails are actually just held in place with tape here, but it certainly works well enough. That really was the extent of the assembly. It was extremely quick and easy. In terms of the assembled airplane, it looks good and the finish is pretty nice. It's small, but it still has all those scale features that I'm looking for with the flaps and the retracts. I like the paint scheme too, as it looks good on the airplane and it represents a cool piece of World War II history. One of the cooler features I found was the model has a hidden hatch latch setup. No tape or magnets, but rather just a spring-loaded hatch that has a single button just in front of the canopy. Easy and effective, and it's pretty sanitary to look at. Setting up the airplane was pretty simple. I always like starting with an existing program if I can and then go from there. So I copied over another Warbird program into a new model on the transmitter and then modified the rates as I needed. The instructions recommended 100% and 70% for the dual rates, which I found good with no reason to change. I had triple rates, so I added an in-between setting in the process. Through flying the airplane, I found that the mid to max rates felt pretty good for my style of flying. So here's what I'm using for throws. For elevator, 1/2 inch both ways with 15% expo. For aileron, 3/8 inch with 10% expo. And then for rudder, it's 1 inch both ways with 25% expo to desensitize the steering. And then for flaps, it's 1/2 inch mid, 1.5 inch full with about a 6% down elevator mix, which is only about a 1/16 inch in physical elevator travel. Now, the CG location recommended in the manual is 37 millimeters as measured from one of the main wing panel lines forward. It's hard to explain exactly, so hopefully the picture here shows it better. Now, I found the CG to be about perfect for the airplane, but you want it to be level when you CG it. I had CG'd mine slightly nose down for the first flight and certainly felt it being nose heavy in the air. I'm using a 35C 2200 mAh pack, and through flying the airplane I ended up moving my battery almost to the rearmost location possible in the battery area, and I found it much better for flying in that location. So this ended up being right at the 37 millimeter mark, but with the airplane perfectly level. Now this little P-51 is just a sweetheart in the air. It flies extremely easily and light, which really makes it forgiving, but still has great maneuverability, making it ideal for confined airspace operation. The airplane isn't necessarily fast, but it has really good power. And with the right battery in there, you should be able to just literally climb straight up at a fairly low airspeed. I didn't notice any bad habits in the air and found that it was very stable in winds in spite of the lightweight and lack of AS3X. With the flaps, landings are super nice and the airplane settles in really well. I love the flap down low passes over the runway. It's pretty awesome. On a calm day, this thing will low pass all day long, just inches from the ground, and it's pretty fun. Alright, so here's a short flight video of the airplane in action. If you'd like to see the full uncut video, you can see that by clicking the icon in the upper right corner. I have a link there. Check it out, guys, and then we'll wrap this up. Alright guys, there we have the ForceRC P-51 Mustang. This is a great flying little airplane that looks good. Its size and characteristics make it ideal for smaller field operations. It's pretty easy to keep within a confined space, so if you want to get a couple flights in and you have a park nearby or open space, this is certainly the right airplane to get the job done. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. I have a full article on my blog, thercgeek.com, with links to everything, including my Spectrum aircraft file too, if you'd like to download that. Be sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to see some of the other reviews that we've done, you can see those here, or if you'd like to see some of the amazing scale action from my trip out to Top Gun, you can see those down here. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, I'll see you at the field.